What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is November 22nd, 2019, and you're watching our profit recap plus next week's market outlook session. So, this was another fantastic week. I think this is the third straight week where we had at least 300 pips with zero losing trades using nothing but our price action strategy. And right now, we're going to get right into it. We have our first trade we took of the week, pound dollar. And you can see there's two setups here, and that's because we took two shorts on the pound dollar this week. And let's get right to it. So the first one, it was on Monday. We got around, entry was at 1.29482. It went as far as 1.28869. So around 60 pips from our first short. And then during the midweek, we just trading these levels, these two ranges from the 4-hour time frame. We have a range, the top of the range at 1.29800 and the bottom of the range at 1.27995. While I go through this, guys, if you have any pair recommendations or questions about trading, shoot them on YouTube or in our portal. If you're on there, we have a free chat, and I'll answer them at the end of the session. So we're trading this trading range, and we had a short opportunity from this side right here. We grabbed 60 pips here, and then on Wednesday's session with the paid members, I determined another entry, given that we break this hourly support. And this is the next line, 1.29 thousand. And the reason why this is a level of significance is because the last time we shorted pound dollar, it stalled right here, okay? And if we look to the left, it's been a pretty key resistance for the pound dollar, kind of a secondary resistance. So that's the level we wanted to break. And if we go to the 1 hour, you can see what we wanted for the setup was a closure, a bearish closure below this level, which we got. This is a very bearish closure. And since then, we haven't looked back, and we're almost at our final target. So for the paid guys that I told you guys about the setup, right after this bearish closure, you were supposed to enter, and currently you would be up 50 pips, just like that. And this is the hourly time frame. So over the course of 5 hours, you would have grabbed 50 pips just off this trade. So pound dollar alone brought us around 110 pips for the week, and you can't really complain about that. And it's just very simple analysis that takes care of all the hard work for you, and you just rely on levels. So this is the first trade of the week. The next one we took was pound yen short. Very similar setup using our price action analysis. And at the end of the midway point of the session, I'll actually do price action analysis from the very beginning on certain pairs, so you can understand the strategy better. But pound yen, again, very clean setup, just trading the ranges. So in this case, our trading range is from, we have two ranges. So we have from this level right here to this level, right? And that's our main range. And then our secondary resistance is right here. You can see our main resistance right here, these two levels. Our secondary resistance where we had miniature bull runs get stalled. So we had one stall, 2, 3, and then our fourth one. So when pound yen went to the upside, it hit the previous highs and it couldn't go higher. It closed bearish, and to go short, we waited for a confirmation of a bearish closure below the secondary resistance as confirmation to go lower. And if you look at the setup, I mean, beautiful, right? So our first short was right here. Entry was right at 140.640. And we went as deep as 139.690. So 95 pips there. And we usually push our stops to entry at 25 pips. And so we did get stopped out at entry on our partial position. But you can see after that that rejection, pound yen fell even further. So for those of the members that have been joining for some time now, you guys would have probably caught this second entry right here, because we came and tapped our secondary resistance that we just spoke of, and pound yen just melted. So our final target obviously is 139.241, right at the bottom right here, and we're pretty close to that. So another 95 pips there, and we're already at the weekly target that we strive for. Then we had some smaller wins, for example, gold. And now gold, this is a trade that faked out a lot of people. And this is why in our price action strategy, we wait for break, retest, and rejection. And what I mean by that is each line I've drawn here is a line of significance. And this line is obviously a resistance line. And we saw gold break above that line. We didn't get we didn't wait for that retest and rejection. We just bought off after the break. And our entry was at 147.514. We went as high as 1478.83. So 35 pips, which we caught. And based on our risk management protocol, we took half our profits at 25 pips and moved stops to entry. And we were done with that trade. So even though this was a fake out, we still got that impulse move before gold burned everyone else that longed gold on an intraday level or even on a swing trade level. So very quick pips, and we entered a 50% position, so we actually made 18 pips. That's still pretty good for a quick 1 hour move. And then that's right around 188 pips for the week. Then we had some Aussie action going on, the Aussie NSD. So let's take that out. Let's take this trade off the way and look at Aussie NSD. So this is a short we will continue to hold into next week. And let's actually take a look on the daily so I can explain the setup. So on the daily, we have a nice clean chart here. This blue rectangle you're looking at is our resistance region. And you can see, Aussie and NSD has closed below that this week. And we wanted to take advantage of that by going short on the next close after the secondary resistance. So this is the secondary resistance right here. You can see multiple wicks in this area. And if we zoom in, when we got that closure below the thick black line, we went pretty deep. We went around 40 pips, and I do expect further downside. Our final target is at 1.05344. So this is a setup we'll carry forward into next week. So if you guys should still be in this trade, hold it out. Just a little word of caution, we are pretty close to getting our partial stopped out. So just take note of that, and that's fine. It's Friday. We usually close trades anyways, and we can enter on Sunday and Monday. But this trade setup is still valid, still making lower highs, lower lows, respecting price action. I'm going to take a quick peek at both chats just to say hi to everyone. Good morning. Hope you guys are all well. And for those that are watching on YouTube that aren't a member yet, I will be giving a 25% off coupon code at the end of the session, so make sure you stay tuned. And we will look at Bitcoin, Dre. That was a really good trade for us, so we'll talk about that in a bit. So amazing setup for Aussie NSD. Let's see if it can bring more pips. Then we had Aussie CAD. Also very similar price structure as Aussie NSD, coming off the 4-hour resistance area. Aussie NSD had a push above support from the support level, but had multiple failures to go any higher. A lot of shooting stars were printed, and so we entered short, and currently we are up. So entry was at 0.9400, and we went as far as 0.900022. So right around 40 pips for this pair as well. We do expect that full move all the way down to the bottom of the profit counter. So this is a pretty clean week. It was a slow week because we had no news until today, and so a lot of the movement happened today. So we'll talk about those trades. And now these are the trades that we discussed yesterday that came into effect today during London session and this morning. And one of them was Euro USD short. As you can see, this 4-hour candle is bearish. It is not a polar bear. It's a grizzly bear, because this is just sell it. Just sell it. That's all I want to say. And this is the type of stuff you're going to get in our live sessions. These kind of setups, very low drawdown, straight to the point. And so let's just go ahead to the 1 hour, see what the entry criteria was. So for the past 2 days, I let everyone in the trading room know that this level right here where my mouse is, 1.10570, has been holding euro up. We can see we established that support here. We came back, respected that support here. We came back, respected again. And then in the earlier the midweek, we had these rejections, flares to go higher. So I knew if we got that closure below that level, we're going lower. And it's as simple as that. Wait for that bearish closure. This is a bearish closure. Enter short, and that's it. It's as easy as that. You don't need 15 indicators running, and you're good to go. So our target for Euro USD is 1.09941. 1.09941. We are about 40 pips away. This is a trade I'll hold over the weekend, and I'll actually move my stops to entry in case some weird stuff happens over the weekend. And then we had one more setup to talk about, and this was someone, they recommended this in the chat, and that is Bitcoin. And I'm not even gonna do a pip count on this because we just made too much. Just wouldn't be fair. But let me actually look at the actual trade idea. Coinbase. So this was the idea we had for Bitcoin, and played out perfectly and then some. So Dre, we shorted Bitcoin from 8,850. Our target was 7,500. We obviously smashed that, and we're looking to go lower. During yesterday's session, we were actually right above that level. And I did say if we do get that break below that level, we are going even lower. So if we take a look on the weekly time frame, you can kind of get an idea where we're headed next. And the next main area of significance is this blue support region. If I extend this over, you can see, these huge wicks. And I draw my levels where there's a lot of activity. So you can see a lot of activity, support created. Or another place I draw my supports and resistance levels is where there's a lot of wicks. Price has gone out of its way to wick. So price has literally gone out of its way to wick this region multiple times. So that's why if you look to the left, multiple times we've wicked in this region. And that's why I have this as a next target for Bitcoin. And that's right at 6,000, 6,000 flat. A nice psychological level for Bitcoin. And the daily looks very bearish for Bitcoin. So if you have any Bitcoin still in your wallet, you might want to convert that to cash. If you have it on your broker or MetaTrader, you might want to enter short. But it's Friday. The market's going to close in 6 hours or so. So you can always enter on Monday. Now at this point of the session, I'm going to transition into talking about trade setups for next week. And do some analysis just so you guys can see the strategy itself. And also answer any questions. So for those that are on YouTube and have any recommendations or comments for me, please let me know, and I will answer them as the session goes on. And for those that are on YouTube, we do have a free portal that you can join and talk to me on. And to sign up, it's very simple. forexlens.com. Just go to our main website. And when you're there, just click Trading Room. And you're going to get two options. Sign up for a free membership. Our free sessions are Monday and Friday. And then get full access. Full access mean you get every session, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And 5 signal providers, me included. If you stick around to the end of the session, you'll get a 25% coupon code for your first month. So this is our portal. This is where our live happens. If you click this and I press this, you will see me go live. We have a chat. We also have some charts. Pretty nice. So you can analyze as I go. So anyways, now I'm going to kind of show you guys our price action strategy. And so last week on Friday's session, someone asked me to do a chart clean, with no levels, just to show the strategy. And that chart was Euro USD. So if we take a quick look at that chart, we can see how nice price action has worked out for this setup. So this was the chart we drew on Friday's session. Very clean, and I might do it again. And we had a short setup pant. And if you look, that same short setup that we drew a week ago has played out, and it took maybe 5 minutes to analyze. We had an arrow to retrace up to here. When you have a break of a trend line, enter short, and you can see we're well on our way to our target. So for those that want to see the strategy, I will, if you have any pair recommendations, I can do them right now, or I can just choose a random pair and analyze it, and you can see the strategy, and next week you can see how well it worked out. So let me just pick a random pair if anyone doesn't have any suggestions. Oh, this is a Euro CHF setup that was given last week that played out, and I don't even think I included in the pip count, but there you go. You're gonna get dimes like this. Doesn't look too enticing. Okay, let's just pick a random one to keep it fair. Let's go CAD yen. Okay, so I'm gonna remove all the tools, all the drawing tools, and start with our strategy. So this is how we do our analysis. We start on the monthly time frame. So we go to the monthly time frame, and what I like to do is basically draw support or resistance or trend lines from this level. Now, the first thing I want to do is notice where price is. So price is right now, it's currently here. So I'm not too concerned about stuff happening up here or all the way down here. More of what's happening in and around this area. And so the first thing I can obviously draw is a support region. So I use this rectangle tool right here, and I just want to draw this region for CAD yen. Okay, so in case we do have a short setup, we can short to here as a potential target. The next thing I want to look at is maybe a resistance, and a clear resistance I see is probably right around here for CAD yen. So I'm going to get out the tool and do that as well. And so now we have two zones of interest. Is there any trend lines we can draw? Yes, there is. Right here, right? We can connect these wicks. You can obviously see a decent sized downtrend. Okay, so we have a clean, first touch. Let's actually clean this up a bit. A second touch, a potential breakout, and we actually have a third touch and a fourth touch on the monthly time frame. So based off the monthly, it's looking like a short. Now we're going to go on the weekly to kind of clear things up and get a better idea, and also start drawing our weekly levels. So on the weekly time frame, you can kind of see our trend line come into play. Every time we've touched it, we've had a rejection to go lower. We have a rejection to go lower, and we have a potential to actually short CAD yen. We're not too late to enter to go low, and this is where trading with the trend comes. That's what the trend line helps you do. I like to use it as a tool to make sure we're trading with the trend at all times. So on the weekly, is there any levels we can draw that were not covered by these zones? And there is. So for example, this level right here, okay? Why do we draw here? Because if you look to the left, a lot of wicks. We had a rally, we used that support, came back up. We had a sell-off, we used that support again, came back up. We had a sell-off, we used that support again, came back up. And, we had a lot of deviations in and around this level, so you get the memo. That's one weekly support we can draw. Is there a weekly resistance we can draw? Yeah, there could be. Maybe right around here, these wicks. Definitely a place we can draw that. So, boom, like that. So you can see pretty decent weekly resistance. A lot of wicks here. Use a support here. Use a support here. Uses resistance, etc., etc., etc. So the reason why we drew both levels is in case CAD yen does break outside the trend line, and if we want to go long, this could be a nice target region. But right now, based off the monthly and the weekly, it's looking like a short. Is there any trend lines and channels I can draw right now? Nothing that's too clean, so we're going to actually drop down to the daily and get an even closer look. So on the daily, there is a trend line we can draw, and we're going to draw it right here, connecting this wick to this wick. And you can see why doing this top to none last is important. Because if you entered off the monthly or the weekly, you could be in some trouble, because if you look at the daily time frame, we had a nice clean first wick, second, and if we zoom in, we're currently bouncing off or resting on this third trend line visit. So CAD yen can very well retrace back up to maybe retrace this monthly trend line and then go lower, or it could very well, pop off and close outside this trend line to go higher. So for our trade for next week, what we're going to be looking for is actual break of this trend line we drew. And if we look, it's actually a pretty decent channel, right? This is a nice ascending channel, and all the channel is it connects a top trend line with the bottom, and the channel usually is a continuation pattern. So for example, this would be a bearish flag pattern, and what that means is a bearish flag pattern basically means you had a sell-off like this, and this is your flag pull, and then this ascending channel is your flag itself. And this is a continuation pattern, and the way to trade this is after the break of this pattern, you're usually going to go lower. So that's the idea. We're waiting for that break, and now I determine my take profit levels on the daily time frame based on key levels. So I'm just looking at this recent price action. I'm looking for key levels, and one would obviously be right here. Why? Because this was our last swing low, right? And we used that support in the past. And if you look back in May of 2019, we used that support back all the way in October. As recent of October, we used that support again. So that's our level, and then the next level, take profit level, would be somewhere down here. A lot of wicks, a lot of activity like that. And so this is the setup we're looking for. Okay, when we get that break outside, we'll have a short all the way down to here, and our stop loss could be within the trend line. So in case we do get that break out here and price closes back within the trend line, it's most likely going to go higher, so we're going to cut our losses pretty short. And this is a 1.8 risk reward setup. It could actually be even better, to be honest, but 2.0 setup for next week, and we'll be looking for this major break outside the trend line. So this is what you're going to get. I'm going to be very in depth and in detail about what needs to happen to enter a trade. In case I'm asleep or I'm busy doing other stuff for Forex Lens, you can always follow those entry criteria that I give to enter the trade. So CAD yen short bias, wait for that break of the channel, and our final target is 79.144. So at this moment, I'm going to take any last minute questions. Anna Hernandez asked for GA. Sure, I'll give pound Aussie a look. And it's great you mentioned that, because at the beginning of the week, I did want to short it. We didn't have a chance to look at it. And, oh, perfect. Anna, you're an angel. So on the daily time frame, you can see a blue resistance region that we've created. Now let's count the days, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days, so a whole week we've spent capped under this blue region. Failure to go higher, nothing. Okay, we can't go any higher. There's not enough buyers to push us. And today's daily candle is very bearish. And if you look at the trade idea set up, I think it might have been activated, or it's going to be. Yeah, it's been activated. So what we wanted was, let me just revert back here. So this was the blue resistance region, and those 7 days where price couldn't go any higher, we used this level right here, 1.89238 as support, right? Support here, and we were waiting for a break of that level to confirm we're going lower, and that's what we just had. So for pound Aussie next week, this might be our blockbuster trade, because we're targeting this trading range. Go to the 8-hour time frame. We're targeting from here all the way to here, and we want that same idea from here all the way to here. So 3.11 risk reward ratio setup, over, I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of pips. Over 3,000 pips could be made on this one trade. Seriously. So you will have to go smaller than usual because the stop loss, even though it's a big risk reward ratio, because pound Aussie moves so much per pip, your stop loss will obviously be larger than usual. So our position size will be a bit smaller. You can count this as a swing trade, but this is what I see for pound Aussie, Anna. Hopefully you see the short as well. And yeah, so these two trades right here, pound Aussie, CAD yen, will definitely be major factors next week. We already have Euro USD, we're still in. Pound dollar is almost all the way there. And so it's been a pretty solid week, and we have a pretty great week to look forward next week as well. And at this point, if anyone has any last minute questions, let me know. I'm going to do two more things. I'm going to let you guys know about risk management and a referral program, and then our 25% off coupon code for your first month. So, I get these questions a lot in terms of risk management and lot size. And my recommendation is never risk more than 1 to 3% per trade. And what that means is, I'm going to do a basic example. If you have a $100 account, or let's do a $1,000 account. If you have a $1,000 account, you should never be entering, a lot size greater than 0.10 to maybe 0.20. Never. Okay? And the reason for this is you can lose 5 trades in a row. And that really happens, but let's say you lose 5 trades in a row, your account's only going to be down 5%. Now, if you're entering, if you're trying to flip accounts and you gain $200 in a day on that $1,000 account, you can very easily lose that same $200 the next day. So keep it consistent and aim for slow compounded growth in Forex until you have a big enough account to support your expenses, your bills, etc. So that's a bit about lot size, and you want to strive for around 5 to 10% gain per month, which we do very easily with our 5 signal providers. I myself have been averaging around 300 pips per week at some pretty high accuracy. So that's that, and then a referral program. So if you're a member of ours and you refer 2 of your friends, you will get a free month of service just for referring your friends. And if you refer 1 more friend, making it 3 friends, you will actually get extra service added to your membership for as long as those 3 friends stay. So, if a lot of people are in trader chats. If you have any, trader buddies that are looking to start trading the real way, the purest way possible, give them a shout out. Send them the link to our free live sessions. Get them to check it out. And if they're interested, you yourself could get 3 months of service just for sending a link. So that's that. And at the very end, the 25% off coupon code. Here it is. Make this text bigger, but it's 25 capital O, capital F, capital F. That is 25 off. And you're going to apply this coupon code at checkout when you click Get Full Access. You click Get Full Access for $97. You're going to fill out the short form. It'll take 2 minutes. When you click Next, you'll have an opportunity to enter coupon code. Enter this one, and the total price will be around $73. You're going to get all my sessions, my teaching, my expertise, and 5 signal providers, and we average 1,200 pips per month for each provider. So I'm RP Forex. I hope you guys all have a great weekend, another profitable week. Spend them wisely, be safe, and I'll see you guys Monday for another free session. So peace, happy trading, and see you Monday.